In John 21, the episode takes place where the disciples have gone fishing. And John 21 is at the end of the Gospel of John, and Jesus has been resurrected and he's been appearing. And it's here, though, that Peter wanted to go fishing. And the reason he wanted to go fishing is he was defeated. He had denied Jesus and he was so discouraged that he really was calling it quits. And one of the reasons for that is that when Jesus made his appearance to the disciples, he never said anything to Peter about the denials. He had told Peter that he was going to deny him. Peter then denies him. And then Christ appears to them after the resurrection, but never talks to Peter. And my conclusion is Peter was feeling like he had been dismissed, that he had been marginalized, that he no longer was someone that Jesus really regarded as the rock. And Peter was concluding, Jesus doesn't believe that I'm a faithful follower. Jesus doesn't believe that I love him. And that's when Peter said, I'm going fishing. I'm going back to the way I used to live. I'm no longer a faithful follower of Christ. I'm out of here. Who wants to go fishing with me? It was during that time out there that Jesus comes to this spot. This is the traditional spot where he comes. And he sees them in the distance. And he calls to them. And Peter recognizes that that's the Lord. And impulsively, he dives into the water right about here, and he swims ashore. But I'm thinking, Peter's realizing, what have I done? Jesus and I have not talked. Jesus may reject me. He may ignore me. I'm sure as he's swimming right here, coming into this spot, he's thinking, what's going to happen? And he comes to the shore, but there's no indication that he and Jesus talk. And it's at this point that he probably helps the boat come in because they made this cast. Remember what Jesus had said, cast the net over the side. Well, that's what he'd done at the very beginning of his ministry, and now at the end he's doing it again, and they have this huge catch. But where's Peter now? Peter's not talking to the Lord. He's counting the fish. They bring him in and they're counting the fish. And that's when Jesus apparently approaches him and says, Peter, and I'm sure that Peter looks up to him at that point. Peter, do you love me? Peter says, Lord, you know that I love you. Jesus had asked agape, and Peter answers phileo. Those two Greek words are different. He said, you know that I'm your friend. Peter, do you love me? Lord, you know that I'm your friend. Peter, are you even my friend? Lord, you know my heart. He wouldn't make a commitment again because he'd done that once before. I'll die for you, only to deny you. And it's at this spot that Peter is reestablished. He says, go feed my sheep. Peter, get on with the work. I love you, you love me, get on with it. And it's at this spot that that whole scene takes place. I don't know what you're going through in your marriage, but I know many of you feel like you're a complete failure. You've denied Jesus Christ. Some of you have denied your vows. You made a commitment to Christ till death do us part. You had made a vow to God before many witnesses, and then you divorced. And you feel like you've been shelved, and there are consequences to that. But there comes a moment when Jesus Christ will call you again. And he'll say, I want you to get up. Let this humble you, yes, but don't you quit. Don't you become a defeated soul. Don't go back to fishing. I'm going to make you a fisher of men. Don't go back to the way you used to be. Shepherd my sheep. Feed my sheep. Get about doing what I've called you to do. I don't know where you're at in your marriage right now, and I don't know the struggle of your soul, but I'm going to tell you this. Jesus Christ intends to reestablish you. Christ is calling you. Don't you quit. Don't you give up. I don't know what your spouse is doing. I don't know what you've done in the past. But I believe that it might have been a place like this that Jesus wants to have a discussion with you, and he's asking you the question, do you love me? But Lord, you know I've denied you. I know that. That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking, do you love me? But Lord, I'm not going to make any false confessions again. I know that. Do you love me? But Lord, I'm disqualified. Feed my sheep. Get back into relationship with me. And let's begin again. Friend, I don't know what you're going through in your marriage, but Jesus Christ at this moment is saying to you, come back to me. Follow me.